there, great to be here today. My name's Craig LeClair. I'm a principal analyst and VP at Forrester Research, where I've been an analyst for over 10 years. My area of interest today is automation, and in particular robotic process automation, how automation can be used to really enable and build the next generation of customer experience. I get often asked, what are the top use cases? And where is the productivity being found in those use cases? It's an easy one to answer. Majority of calls I get, the majority of investment going into robotic process automation is really in the area of what I call shared operations, shared business operations at companies. This would include financial and accounting applications, would also include areas like HR, customer service, as well as supply chain and different aspects of manufacturing, oil and gas applications. So this is across what we call the front office and the back office. Of course, every new technology has its own terminology it spawns. We call that attended and unattended operations. So attended would be more agent and contact center work, and that's an area of great focus for RPA. But you'd have to say the majority of work being done is in the what we call unattended area, and this is where a batch bot is created really to augment or replace a human being doing low value added tasks. So the characteristics of productivity really vary between that attended world, the agent world, if you will, in the back office, with a much higher productivity being found in the back office today. There are a couple reasons for this. One is we haven't really focused on efficiency in the back office the way we have in the contact center. The contact center has been raked over for average call time and metrics, and really optimized much more than these back office applications, which are much more varied. You're kind of doing a very finite set of things in the agent world. And secondly, because attended operations of RPA, really the bots are interacting with the human, so they're augmenting the human. So if you have an agent, you might be adding a 30% efficiency to them because they're able to click off a bot that's going and doing operations that they normally would have to do. So it's more of an augmentation of activity in the agent world. Whereas in the back office, you tend to take a look at Harry and Sally over there and say, look, they're doing these low value tasks. We can create a bot that does what they do. And you can create a batch process that really replaces the full FTE. So as a result of those two things, you're seeing higher productivity in the unattended world. It's an interesting question, and it will depend on really the integration of the AI building blocks, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the flash in the pan argument is it's important to look at the market drivers for RPA today. Why is it surging as a market today? And you have to say that it's the non-invasive aspect of building bots. So you can go to a worker, you can record their activity. That can jumpstart a design studio effort to complete a bot. You can be demoing that bot back to the user in a short amount of time. So it's very easy to deploy compared to other process technologies such as business process management. Secondly, there is no data integration. A fundamental principle of RPA is that it operates through the existing UI of the desktop. So the bot is really replacing activity that a human would do in a way that doesn't require the normal kind of data integration and systems integration that a lot of process technologies need. So it's quick, non-invasive. And you can get to the ROI pretty quickly because you're ultimately comparing the cost of a bot and the infrastructure costs and so forth to the cost of a human. So it's very easy to compare. In some ways, it's a contrast to the longer business process management projects of the past, where the skies would darken with consultants coming in, and you'd look at your existing process, you'd rip it apart, you'd say, what do we want this modernized process to be? And you would have a long program to really transform that process. And in some cases, you need to do that. So there are some things that are headwinds for RPA as it exists today, which is doing very simple mimicking of human activity. And one is that systems are being modernized. So the more you build towards a self-service environment, perhaps using chatbots for customer interaction, the less that you have this non-value added, low value work that's being done in the back office, for example. So systems are getting modernized. They're moving to cloud-based systems. So a lot of the RPA really works today against legacy systems. Systems where the applications don't have APIs. That's one of the values of going through the existing UI of the desktop, is that you don't need to have an API. So there is this sense that unless RPA really starts to do more intelligent things to work with some of the AI building blocks, then it will in fact be a short-term, a flash-in-the-pan market. But I think it will. The question really is, does RPA have any AI in it? You certainly, in talking to providers and the technology companies that promote and have RPA portfolios, you would think it does. The semantics are all through the marketing of RPA today. But the fact is, it doesn't. Today's RPA has static rules. They're programmed into the macro. They're very simple. They tend to be doing very straightforward mimicking of human behavior for low value added tasks where you can create a bot to do it and not change anything. So unless RPA moves up the cognitive chain, if you will, and unless it does start to incorporate AI. So just a second on what AI is. AI is 13, 14 different things in our model. It's everything from machine learning to deep learning to various text and content analytics. It has natural language processing. It has all kinds of interesting fields that really are evolving at their own rate. So the two aspects that I think will affect RPA in the immediate future, the most immediate future is text analytics, is content analytics. There are a lot of applications where the analysis of unstructured content, so think documents in a loan application. You can understand and extract data from that, and you can drive bot activity. You can drive RPA bot activity with that. So that's the next combination of more intelligence with RPA. But the real future is, if you think of RPA as really building a digital workforce, so you're building bots that are doing human things, and they're your new workforce. They're digital workers. So think of them as getting more and more intelligent over time. So the first generation are pretty dumb. The next generation will align with natural language processing and chatbots so that they will have a interaction, probably with an internal employee first and next a customer, where the employee will be turning to the chatbot and texting in some questions and asking for guidance, maybe a financial advisor that's looking at how to service a client that might have moved from one state to another. The bots will work in the background and actually do some blocking and tackling. Go get the forms that you need for that new customer. Go fill out those forms with information gathered from core systems. Basically provide with the NLP and chatbot interface a much stronger augmented intelligence. So that's kind of one direction for AI and RPA. A second one is just to build a strong knowledge base. So right now, if you think of it, the 2 or 3 decisions that might be made in a bot are very much programmed into the macro. In the future, the decisions will be externalized to machine learning capability, so you'll be able to absorb information about the process, and learn from handling exceptions that get more and more complicated. And that sort of learning capability will allow the RPA in combination with a machine learning knowledge base to really get smarter over time. And that's really the future. RPA needs to be able to create not just an initial digital workforce, but one that creates smarter and smarter workers.